Hi everyone. Today we're going to be looking at an 18 Arakara that I was able to capture on stream. I'm going to be doing sort of a VOD review for myself and a kind of walkthrough on how I healed the dungeon as a Wildstalker Restoration Druid. So as the timer goes down, I like to hop the group up to kind of help with any of the sort of random jumping damage that the mobs do and the bleeds that are going to go out. I like to use Tiger's Dash down the steps and then I go into a roar. I like to be able to capture the tank when I do that to give them a little bit of a mobility boost, but this warrior was moving a little quick, so I missed him, but that's okay. Crossing the bridge, I reapply my life blooms, I'll pop my Lumathar trinket, and I start dropping my Grove Guardians so that they can help heal. I try to position myself close to the tank to like get any sort of splash damage that he's doing to be able to get the aggro off the aggro from the mobs off of me. Healer aggro is kind of an issue. It is kind of an issue early on in this pull, so you need to play near your tank if you can. Other than that, I'll just focus on the Trilling Attendant to stop the Web Bolts and the Resonance Barrage. A note about the Resonance Barrage is that when the channel, when the cast finishes and the channel starts, you can interrupt it with your in-cap roar, and that will function as like a kick and stop the cast. So between your Typhoon, your in-cap roar, and your Skull Bash, you have a lot of ways to stop casts on that mob. We don't have a Shaman in this group, so I do need to be mindful of Poison Dispels. I try to dispel at 2 stacks, unless someone has full hots on them. If they have full hots on them, I'll let them sit on 2 stacks and just kind of hedge to see if they get a third. Three stacks is pretty tough to heal, so if you can get your dispel on that, it's like, you know, kind of beneficial. I didn't quite know which way the tank was going to go when, so I was kind of hedging as to what I wanted to do with my efflorescence. Call of the Brood is coming out here. You only need to send 1 cooldown for it. I did use my Convoke a little early, but that's okay. The Call of the Brood doesn't hurt nearly as much as it did in the first season that we had to play Arakara, so it's okay now. In this key, I wasn't running Ursula's Vortex. I have started that since I've been doing this dungeon on 19, and now that I'm trying it on 20s. You can drop your Vortex right before the Call of the Brood comes out, and it'll capture all of these flyers that come up and bring them into the tank, which is kind of nice. Even though the Call of the Brood doesn't hurt that much, it's okay to send whatever cooldowns you have to keep the group healthy. There's no real big damage events that are coming out over the next little bit, so you'll have plenty of time for your cooldowns to reset. Crossing the bridge, I do focus on the Attendant for stops, but we have a Death Knight that double grips him in, so that's good. If I have a Convoke or my Trinket up as we cross the bridge, I feel like I generally send it there. There can be a lot of sort of like random bleed damage and like jump attacks that happen as we get this group pulled and in position, so it helps sort of stabilize the group in that regard. So now the Attendant's dead, we can just focus on the mini boss for kicks on the Poison Bolt. I do need to try and be better about not kicking when my warrior tanks have shield reflect up. Cool. So going into the first boss, it's kind of about cooldown management and rotating them properly. I like to use Trinket first, Convoke second, Tranquility third. It's like I'm spreading some dots. I want to get the poisons off before. If I have a bleed on me, I will probably Bark Skin. Looks like I don't have it, so I don't know if I'm going to send Bark Skin or not. But Trinket should come out. Yep. Great. Top up the team, dispel any poisons, kind of sort of rinse and repeat. Alright. So I should be reapplying all of my hots right here and sort of prepping the group for the Gossamer Onslaught. I do play with 2 charges of Nature Swiftness, so I have a lot of instant casts that I can use to help keep my team healthy during that movement phase if I need to. So for the next alerting Shrill, I go ahead and use my Nature Swiftness into Convoke. That keeps us up. Kill the ads. Get ready to stack. So Gossamer Onslaught's in 3, so I should be reapplying all of my hots right now. A little bit late. Okay. And what do we have for the next one? So for the next one, I should do my Tranquility. Yep. So yeah, that's it for this boss, really. It's just kind of rinse and repeat from there. Because I run the cooldown reduction on my Tranquility, or well, I run the talent that allows my Trank to provide cooldown reduction to all of my other abilities. It puts my Convoke up for the next one. I have Trinket back up to use that. We'll have to see if I Trinket first or Convoke. Hopefully I Trinket first. Great, so we're in really good spot. One thing to be mindful of is looking at the boss health, what mechanics are coming up next, and then thinking about what packs you have to heal after. The boss is looking fairly low. I think I probably will still Convoke because it's a short cooldown. But you always want to keep in mind that after this boss, you have to deal with the Blood Guards, which are 2 of the hardest, or it's like the hardest mob to deal with in this dungeon. So cooldown management is just something that you're always keeping in the back of your mind. But it looks like we're gonna focus on the boss. We're not gonna bother with the ads. The DH went over and feared him. And I don't think the next Shrill is going to come out. Great. We're a little bit ahead on our timer, but you can kind of always ask the group when you want the second lust. Normally it's this giant beetle or the next one. So as we pull the group, I focus on the web mage for kicks, I get out my hots, and I should Trinket first and then Convoke. So Trinket, Nature Swiftness, Convoke, and that's going to be the first damage event. So when we get to the next one, we'll have to see what I have available. We do have AMZ that the Death Knight can drop. But I don't think he's gonna live that far to be able to cast it. Yep, so he casts it but dies instantly, so that was a good spot. So looking ahead, we're going to have Tranquility for the next one. We'll probably have Convoke. We're going to have Bark Skin. We'll have Iron Bark. And we're also going to have Lust. So I think at a minimum, I'll send one cooldown and then just rely on Lust. But have the option to use more if I need. Keep an eye on how many assistants you pull. Once you get like 3 or 4 in there, the extraction strikes can kind of hurt. So I keep an eye on that, and I'll send. That's a good time to send Iron Bark on your tank if it's up. Yeah, it looks like I just sent it there. Give him a little boop to help move him along, interrupt the cast, spread some dots. And I'm probably gonna pull this guy as he gets closer. I wonder if we're gonna get the other mages too. Nope. Just the Blood Guard. So get my hots out and prepare for the AoE. Probably gonna Trinket, Convoke. Let's see. No, I heard the Lust, so I didn't feel like I needed to. Looks like AMZ went out too. We do have a mage in the group, so I shift my sort of attention to him to keep the cast locked down. And here comes the next AoE. And he dies, so we're good. Even though you plan out ahead of time, it's always good to like ask your team what they have available if you have time to, or if you have a tailor in the group. Because sometimes if that stun comes out when you weren't expecting it and you blow a Tranquility, it kind of feels bad. So most of the healing for this portion of the dungeon is over. Now it's just managing crowd controls, you know, your stops, your kicks. So focus on a mage, put your kick on cooldown, and then cycle your dots through. As I do all of these VOD reviews, you know, I'm really taking note that I don't spend as much time spreading around rakes as I should. I need to be a lot more effective at getting all of my dots out on all of the mobs. I tend to boop this little stag shell in. We have a Death Knight that's been gripping stuff, so I didn't really need to do that, but it's just kind of force of habit. So again, should really be spreading out my dots a lot better, but I focus on the web mage. Now that I'm pushing higher keys, I need to trust my team more to interrupt stuff. I kind of have this mindset where it's like if I don't kick it, no one else will, so I kind of focus solely on the one job, and I'm not trusting my team to do it, even though, you know, they're as good, if not better players than I am. So I really need to trust my team to do their job more, to free me up to do, you know, like all the dotting and stuff that I want to. Normally, as that web mage is dying, I'll spread all my hots on the group, and I could see that I was doing that in this video to prepare for the next Blood Guard, but it was a pleasant surprise that we were doing a skip there, so I didn't end up having to heal that event, which is great. So coming into the second boss, there's not a ton that goes on in here in terms of healing. It's just dealing with the single target healing event of the infestation. the infestation will go on the team in a predictable manner. Like once it goes through the team once, that's the set order that it goes in. So if you're good, you can track like who it's been on, what order it went on them in, and then rotate your life blooms to pre-hot them like accordingly. But that being said, you know, it's easy enough just to cast a regrowth on someone and then swap your life bloom there. You have no group AoE that you really need to manage here, so you can send your Lumathar trinket whenever you want. Other than that, when you get the life bloom yourself, you should always bark skin it, and then you have Iron Bark as an external if you really feel like you need it. Looks like my rage fell off and it's been sitting off for a while, so that's bad play. It is good to swap to the web mages to help your team with the ticks when you can.
My swarm hungers.
Yep, so infest on myself, bark stain, regrowth, swap my life bloom, and we're chilling. Looks like the tank decided to stay outside of the circle for a little bit, ended up eating it, but the Demon Hunter came in here and saved the day. Looks like he had another walk-in taunt that was clutch. It's a shout out to, looks like I Hate Keys Area 52. That was a like super pro move. Okay, so as this boss dies, we're going to move into the, I think it's like called the Overseer packs that do the Poison Volley and the Webs. One comment that I did get on stream that I chatted about was the Dispel cadence that I use for dealing with those mobs. And the way that they come out is you have a volley, and then I do like a 3 count, and then I Dispel. If you do that and then Dispel sort of the second one on cooldown, it keeps your tank in a pretty good spot. So it's gonna be like volley, 1, 2, 3, Dispel. And that tends to work out pretty well for warriors and demon hunters and paladins. It's a little slow for death knights, and then for bears, I've had bad luck here in this game with bears. They seem to just take lots and lots of stacks. Alright, so let's see.
And the black blood will usher in a new age for Ashkahet.
Okay, so volley, 1, 2, 3, Dispel. Great. This Death Knight looks like he got some aggro and he's trying to die on us, but we're able to spam regrowth on him, keep him up. My normal cadence is a little off on this, just because of the way that the Overseers were staggered. But it's still, you know, we're still keeping the tank in a good spot. I have started running Ursul's Vortex, and I'll drop it on the tank when we pull the flyers to help prevent them from jumping to everyone. But when you do pull the drone group, it's really good to just kind of send your Lumathars, and then once that's used up, use your Bark Stand to keep yourself safe. They do a lot of sort of like random spiky damage, especially if you're standing out in range.
I need to get closer.
So it looks like the next set of drones is coming in. We don't have an Overseer yet, so we're just kind of chilling. can see I was waiting there. So we have volley, 1, 2, 3, should dispel. Outside of that, there's not really much going on here. I think we're looking good on the timer, but short on percent. But we'll be able to make that up at the end. Yeah, just a little bit percent short. So for this boss, kind of a running theme, I need to do a lot better with my damage. There's like small periods where you have to do any sort of healing, and then there's a significant amount of time where I could just be doing extra damage. But what I should be doing is I should be putting out my life blooms prior to the, I should be putting out my life blooms prior to the poisons coming out, and then dispelling, dispelling myself, probably. Because the Death Knight's kind of indestructible. The Hunter can get it off himself, so I should life bloom myself and the Demon Hunter here. This is a perfect example. I should have been in there putting out more dots. But that's okay. Now we're learning. For this boss, Moonfire is a good way to kind of target where you want the Bloodworkers to drop puddles. So you can help your team out if you need to, if the room's looking a little bare in terms of like places to drop stuff. One specific note for Druids, you can kind of accidentally kill yourself pretty easily if you shapeshift. Like, if you step into one of the puddles when you're in cat form, just be mindful about staying in cat form until the event's over. Otherwise, you're gonna kind of regret it. Yep, so poisons are coming out, so I should be putting my life blooms out, putting out some regrowths. My target selection for my life blooms was really poor on this encounter. Yeah, see right there, I wasn't quite sure if any melee was going to use that puddle, so I just used a quick little Moonfire to tag a Bloodworker to make a puddle for myself. And it worked out because the DH ended up needing it, although I'm sure DHs have a million different ways of getting wherever they need to be if you had to move. So I don't know that death was my fault. I think the warrior just dropped the poison on the DH's head. See, get in there, put more hots out, or more dots out. Could be doing a lot better. But in terms of healing, it's a fairly straightforward fight. I think in the moment, I tend to play a lot more conservatively just because I'm so worried about letting someone die. Which for an 18 is fine, but as I'm starting to get higher and higher in keys, I really need to start maximizing my own personal output. So it's good to be aware of. That's the thing to improve on. And that's it for the boss. I think from here we're just gonna go up and pull 2 overseers and get whatever missing percent that we have is. But again, this is gonna be a situation where it's like volley 1, 2, 3 dispel. So tank got rid of it by himself. There's the volley 1, 2, 3 dispel. Great. The webs are a little bit staggered, so I'm probably just gonna dispel them like on cooldown. But you guys get the general idea. This is another situation where I should be in there spreading my rates, doing my thrash, getting some rips out. But we had so much time left that I consciously was like, don't do anything stupid to die and screw up the timer. If I were to die, then the tank loses his dispel. That could like break the key. So just being careful. But as this last overseer dies, that's gonna be percent, and that's the key. So I think I learned some stuff watching this back and doing the review. Hopefully you guys get something out of it too. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. I'll be happy to answer them. Other than that, I'll be doing more of these reviews as we get into the next season of Midnight. So yeah, be sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks.